Make this delicious slow cooker spaghetti squash and meatballs recipe from the Peas and Hoppy meal guides. Start by adding 3.5 cups of crushed tomatoes, 6 ounces of tomato paste, 1 cup of water, 2 teaspoons of oregano, 1 teaspoon of basil, a half teaspoon of salt, and a half teaspoon of black pepper to a slow cooker. Stir to combine to make the marinara sauce and set aside. Next, we'll make the meatballs. I'm using grass finished ground beef from Cowabunga Cattle Company. It's 100% grass fed and absolutely delicious. Use 1 pound of ground beef, a fourth cup of breadcrumbs, 1 egg, 1 tablespoon of olive oil, a half teaspoon of salt, and a half teaspoon of garlic powder. Use your hands to mix in the seasonings. Take your time and don't be afraid to get a little messy. Make sure all ingredients are well combined. Now we'll form the meatballs. Use about 1 ounce of meat per meatball and gently shape it into a ball, rolling it between your hands. The meatballs should be about the size of a golf ball, so add more or less meat as needed. You'll end up with about 16 meatballs for the full recipe. If you want, you can prep these meatballs ahead of time and refrigerate them for up to 2 days or freeze for up to a month. Add the meatballs to the slow cooker and gently push the meatballs down so they are completely submerged in the sauce. Now it's time to prep the spaghetti squash. Wash the outside of the squash before cutting it to remove any dirt. Use a chef's knife to cut the ends from the squash and discard them. Then cut the spaghetti squash in half lengthwise down the middle. This can be tough. Make sure to stabilize your cutting board and squash and use a sharp knife. Always cut down and away from your body to avoid injury, and make sure to watch your fingers. Remove the seeds and innards from the squash using a spoon. If you've ever carved a pumpkin, it's similar to removing those seeds. It takes a bit of muscle to scrape the inside clean, but make sure not to be too aggressive because it can remove some of the edible squash too. Bonus tip, you can save the seeds from the squash and roast to enjoy as a tasty snack. Once you've removed all the seeds, gently place the spaghetti squash flesh side up on top of the meatballs in the slow cooker. Cover with a lid and cook on high for 3 to 4 hours or on low for 5 to 6 hours. Once the squash is fully cooked and you can easily insert a fork into the flesh, remove it from the slow cooker and scrape out the spaghetti like strands using a fork. If the spaghetti strands mash together, this means the squash is a little overcooked. If it's very difficult to scrape the strands out, it's likely undercooked and needs a little bit more time. Scooping the spaghetti squash into a colander allows excess liquid to drain. Use a paper towel to soak up additional liquid as you're able. Now you're ready to eat. Serve the marinara and meatballs over the spaghetti squash and top with shredded Parmesan cheese if you'd like. This recipe is from the Peas and Hoppy Meal Guides app. For more easy, delicious, and healthy recipes like this one, comment app to start your free trial. Enjoy!